at JM Pro TV on Instagram or Facebook. He's got that good stuff. Trust
Support
me.
local.
Yeah, for real. Support local
businesses.
What do y'all think of like racism and all that kind of stuff? You know, if we're talking about like discrimination or whatever.
I mean,
It's really
gonna
it's
keep going on, bro.
There's no reason to have it though. Like, I mean, everybody can argue this or that, though. It's ridiculous and it's unwanted for. It's uncalled for, and it's disrespectful not only for like a race, but like each other as a human. You know, like they belittle everybody if you know your skin pigmentation is
Who's
not
they,
white.
Bro, who you
Well,
referring to?
okay, I'll refer to them as like everyone that's ignorant, and they can't stand the fact that you know we look different. They can't wrap it around their tiny little brains that everybody's different, and it's okay to be different.
Yeah.
You know, they'd rather have it all their own way when it shouldn't be that.
Actually, bro, quick, I don't know, train of thought in my brain. Like the people who probably like discriminate like against color or your pigment probably hate on like LGBTQ plus. I messed that up.
Because it's but because it's different. It's not what they grew up on. It's something different.
LGBTQ plus.
There you go.
Brain
Yes.
fart, my bad, guys.
There you go.
Congratulations, baby.
The spelling bee.
But you
learned the beat.
Spell ABC. Say that again.
AB plus.
AB plus. Yeah.
That's
But
how
yeah,
math is though, low key.
Yeah.
Quick math. 2 + 2 is 5.
Yeah, for in high school, math got difficult for me once they started putting letters in it. It was already hard for me with numbers as it is. You know, I'm dyslexic, so I'll mix up the numbers every once in a while. But once they started putting the alphabet in it, like, and each letter had a different meaning, which was weird.
I feel like I'm pretty straight with math, like just like letters, bro, like formulas and whatnot.
The Pythagorean theorem.
That's what I forget, bro. Like I can do like addition.
Just addition. Only addition.
Yeah, but
Addition and
Do this add up?
Hold on.
Yeah, hold on. We going off.
Yeah, we going off track. But anyways,
Going to rant.
back to the whole discrimination thing. Like,
math.
but I don't know why, but like people just don't like things that aren't accustomed to them. You know, they must have been the way that they grew up, or just like in general they just discriminate.
It's kind of where it starts though, bro. Because a lot of people follow what their parents believe, and if they're especially in the South, you know, like parents are like, you know, Bible thumping, maybe not that it's a bad thing, but like that can kind of lead to like, you know,
Sweet tea
But yo,
type of thing.
Yeah.
all that kind of stuff.
Y'all hear about the thing where it was a dude that was in the grave. I mean, not the grave, but the cave. I can't remember what it's called. I think it's like Plato's cave theory.
Allegory
or
of the
something.
cave.
Yeah, the allegory
I read
of the
that
cave.
in high
there we
school.
go. And it's like basically like if you're grown or like the place that you're raised at, if you're raised there your whole entire life, you're just gonna expect that only. You're not
For
gonna
those of y'all that
expect
don't know,
anything else.
Allegory of the Cave is just like, I don't know where it's set, but there's these 3 prisoners in a cave, and all they can see is what's reflected on the wall from the flame, like the fire behind them. So like they would see random objects, random symbols, and that's all they know, right? And then one day they escape and they actually get out of the cave, and you know, it's like their reality was shaped by only what they saw on the wall, because they were strapped there for years or whatever.
Yeah.
And when they get out, you know, it's like, wow, like there's an actual whole world out there. Like the world isn't a cave, you know.
There's like a sky,
and
grass,
that's kind of what it is
crazy.
nowadays with like, you know, if you're discriminating against like someone who's not of your gender, not of your race, you know, it's like, what are you being like? What are you raised
basically,
on? You know, like that kind of stuff.
The cave would basically represent like a metaphor of like closed-mindedness, like someone that isn't like. I mean, I'm not saying they have to be fully open-minded, but like, you know, maybe open-minded on certain things, but like it could just mean a sense of like, oh, you're trapped in your own thoughts, like you have a certain belief, but now that you're out here, you're like, wow, this really exists. Like I didn't actually know about this. It's like a whole new horizon.
Because
that
I'm
you just-
pretty sure all of us.
But you also got to think about like, you know, if it's close-minded people, or whatever it might allude to, whatever the metaphor is for. It's just like, if somebody was closed-minded and they were to open their mind, some people might not like what they see and could just go right back.
Yeah.
Because that's all they're used
It's
to.
a sad reality,
It's
man.
a sad
Yeah, but
reality.
it
And then
happens.
the other option is, you know, the more positive one where you're like, oh, like, wow, this is so cool. Like, there's a whole nother world outside of mine. I'm going to accept it. Some people are just scared.
Yeah, that's the thing. A lot of people are scared. If you're different, like they're not used to that, so it's something new, and you're scared about it. Like even like whenever you were a kid, you know, when you like first encountered something new, you're kind of like skittish about it.
Yeah.
You know, everybody has that natural fear, and I guess people are just so overwhelmed by that fear that was put on them as them growing up, saying that, that this is bad. You need to obey this. And, you know, maybe like their parents might have like done it in such a rough way to where they're kind of traumatized about it, and you know, subconsciously they hate it without knowing that they hate it. You know?
It's just
Well,
passed
like-
down, honestly.
Yeah.
Because change is always gonna be there, bro. Think
But
about
it's
it.
gonna be
Regardless.
slow.
Mhm.
It
Like,
really is.
Honestly,
Like,
just
for
J. Cole
closed-minded
says, and
people,
just
they're
how
like-
every like historical person says, it's like change is always gonna be there, but it's gonna be slow.
Yeah.
It's not gonna be like one day to the next. It's
True.
something that we gotta
Like the
teach.
world the way it is right now isn't always
Mhm.
gonna be this way.
It's emotionally,
Yeah.
physically, and even on the subcellular level. It's just it changes is bound to happen regardless on anything. It just goes on. You just can't really stop anything from. You can't really stop it at all, honestly.
Yeah.
Yeah, bro.
And it's
especially-
better to just accept it than to fight it.
Honestly, man.
True that.
And I know all of us here have probably gone through that. Like I remember, like, you know, not that I necessarily hated anyone, but like in middle school, you know, like it was kind of trendy to be like, "Yo, this is gay," or like, "You're,"
Yeah.
you know, like that kind of stuff. Not that I necessarily went into it like I actually hate these people, but like just like you know trying to fit in and stuff. Like I don't know if
Just
that was
saying.
y'all.
Yeah,
'Cause
that's
I remember
also
when I
the
got to
thing.
high school, like
Continuing the train.
I went to
Yeah.
a high school college program, so like I got a mix, you know, like community college and high school, and like
Same.
you know, I really went through a transition where I was like saying all these bad words for no like without actually thinking about what I'm saying, you know. And then you know, I was really thinking about it, like, yo, this is not the person I am, you know, like, yo, that's the actual person, like we were talking about earlier, you know. It's like I feel like we all kind of changed from that, like we were saying, like everyone I feel like is ignorant, and you know, like,
Yeah.
did y'all ever hear that like ignorance is bliss thing growing up all the time?
Yeah,
Mhm.
that's
It's true.
It
It's true.
really is.
You just don't gotta worry about so many things.
I mean, ignorance
there's-
just blinds you. Like, if you have your mindset fixed onto something, you're just gonna be like, you know what? Like, regardless, even if I know this is gonna hurt me or not, like, I'm still gonna go after it. Because, like, that moment of, I guess, like, euphoria or whatever that produces for you, and just the fact that you're like, oh, you know, this is something nice. And then you're like, you find something bad about it, whether it's relationship-wise or anything life-wise, whatever, you're gonna be like, you're obviously gonna be prone to ignore it or just brush it off like, no. Like, a whole stage of denial. And that's even the same case for, like, you know, people that are going through, like, the stage where they're possibly dying and everything, like, the stages of grief. Denial is one of them. They're like, you know what? No. Like, this isn't supposed to happen. It's just, like, I've never wanted this to happen.
Yeah.
Why is this happening to me?
Yeah.
Never in a million years. So, it just kind of goes on to that, I guess.
Yeah.
That's true, bro.
But anyways, we need to switch this up. We don't want to end the episode on like, you know, such a controversial topic.
Well, actually, you know, what? I just want to say one thing. On
Okay.
Go ahead.
the whole like being aware and like ignorance is bliss. It's just like, you know, whenever if you check the news, literally always something has happened.
Mhm.
It is always happening. It's like it's just because everybody's become so aware. There's so much stuff that we have to try and cover that everything has to be news. You know, like
True.
back then you just wouldn't hear about any of this stuff. Literally a lot of the stuff that we like, just even celebrities is just news. You know,
Yeah.
something like
Question
that.
mark. I don't know. I didn't live way back then, but like maybe the news
Neither did we.
people didn't want to report it. Like they could hear about it, but like, nah.
Yeah, that is
There's
also
an
the
interest.
thing. Like, I'm
There's
pretty
a
sure.
sit
Like,
down.
Down
interest.
question mark.
Yeah, like you know, they want to put the best thing that would sell.
It's
yeah,
crazy
like,
how news spreads them. It's interesting. Like right now, bro, what are the hot topics? Like the Sudan thing for sure, and like
Sudan.
probably like the Fairfield
The
abuse.
Fairfield.
Right?
Yeah.
Like when literally a week ago everyone was all like guns in
Milk.
arms about abortion and stuff. Like it's so quick how like these like hot topics are, you know. It's
It's
like
a
okay,
trend.
abortion's kinda like no one's really talking about it anymore. Now it's
Yeah.
the cows or like Sudan.
It's
What's the
just
next
honestly
one?
a big bandwagon. Like it's just the fact that people just go onto it. Like, oh,
And it's only momentarily. That's
Yeah.
the thing.
Yeah, man.
Like, dude, like everybody was like R.I.P. like everybody in Puerto Rico and like things
Or
are
like the
still
immigrant,
going
the
on, but
kids
it's
in
not even
cages.
getting-
Yeah,
no one cares
for
about
real.
that anymore.
Nobody-
yeah,
I know,
nobody
it's
brings
just
it
like-
up.
Yo, save them, and then it's like, oh wait, there's other news over here.
Yo,
Like,
quick, like how come like the when the church burned down out in
Notre Dame.
Notre Dame.
yeah, that one got a really lot of attention. I saw it everywhere, you know.
Yeah,
That was
that is
crazy,
true.
bro.
Instagram, Snapchat, those are the three main ones I use. But the Sudan one, I saw it one time on Snapchat, and I was like, well, why doesn't this get as much attention as this church?
Yeah.
yeah.
I don't know. I'm not.
I mean,
nowhere,
It's just
but-
like
It's
news.
a massacre
Hey,
that's going on.
it's just
Yeah.
somebody decides what's important.
Yeah,
as for
everybody's
society
picky.
as a whole.
Okay,
Like, they
like-
don't.
That's why it's
So-
important to have freedom of the press. Like I can
That's
go right
very
now and
true.
look up both sides of things. You know, like I don't
Instead
have to
of
just watch this
Instagram,
one source.
Yeah.
Instagram and Snapchat.
Yeah.
And
And it's
Well,
sad
yeah.
that people only hear about things on like the Snapchat articles or like
Well,
Yeah,
You
they
know,
don't.
like
They don't
on
like.
the rat
They don't
page.
investigate
On
it
the rat
anymore.
page.
Like I look up like on Snap. I don't really like look up my news there, but still like it'll pop up there. I'll be like, okay. Like the CNN, it'll give like a 20-second segment
Recap.
of it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Is
What
it
happened?
CNN?
But the Sudan, I don't
Think
even
so.
think that happened. I think it happened
Or
like
NBC
yesterday,
News.
and it was
It's
a little
NBC.
late to me because I already knew about it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But I mean, like honestly, on a side note though, if you do plan on checking any of those things out, definitely go ahead and give some more research into it, because there are a lot of like news that's just false news that's out there, and it seems like it could be real, but it's not. It's just completely bogus. None
Yo,
of
what it comes
Yeah.
down to though, man, the real is the agenda. Like everything's
everybody
got an
has-
agenda.
everybody
And
has an
it's
agenda.
it's hard to
we
be.
have an agenda right
It's
now.
hard to
Yeah,
be
for
biased,
real.
y'all.
We're
It's hard to
deciding
be
what's
right in the
important for
middle.
you listeners, what's important for you.
Yeah, y'all need to
I'm
investigate.
controlling your mind. I'm
Yeah.
playing.
Don't just believe everything. Like, do
Ooh.
your research. That way,
Thanks.
you get the answer that you're comfortable with.
Yeah.
And
See
then-
both sides of the story
Look,
because
it's
it's never
frozen
one-sided.
Pros and cons.
There's
Yeah.
a lot of pros and cons, and that's what really differentiates a whole entire news article. Like, I mean, yeah, there could be good things about it, but like, have you seen why it's going on, or like what's happening, or what's causing this to exactly like happen? What's the whole entire bandwagon? What's pushing it? Why are people following it? Like,
It's
just
important to
it's
stay
just that,
critical
yeah.
though, dog. Because like I've read articles even that say this study says this, but it's like where can I find the link to that study?
Exactly.
I just have to believe what you're saying.
And-
Like,
Okay.
you know?
A little quick thing too from a class that I took, it was humanities. They were talking about how like there was two different news articles. One from like I think it was like Saudi Arabia, and the other one was from like here from the U.S. And basically like the article was saying like the U.S. one was making it seem like a really bad terrorist attack, but when you were actually looking at it, the Saudi Arabia one was just like, oh, like yeah, there was an attack, like people got killed, and that was it. But like the U.S., like it made it like a whole entire thing where it was like super important. Like, oh, there was a crazy terrorist attack. People were getting murdered left to right. Blah 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 blah. Like a crazy massacre. When it wasn't, like yeah, it was a pretty big deal. But it wasn't like a whole bunch of people getting murdered. And it wasn't exactly a whole terrorist attack. It was like a type of like a protest that was going on that these people were doing, and they
Yeah.
attacked others. So they completely changed it and made
Yeah,
it
they
something
manipulated
much
it.
more
Words
than it
count,
really should
man.
have been.
But
Yeah.
that all just boils down to the big fact, and like we're not going to try to end this on a negative note.
But
It's
yo,
just like,
on
no,
the real note though,
no,
y'all
it's
ever
just like
notice
we
the
all
people,
have.
the people that comment racist stuff and like on news articles on
Oh,
Facebook
facts, they'll be
always
like-
have sunglasses on? Watch out for those comments, y'all. If
Don't
you see-
listen to
if
them,
their
bro.
profile pic got sunglasses on,
Yeah.
you know what you're about to read.
They're probably-
I'm gonna just say
They're
that.
probably shady.
Yeah. But
No,
the
our
Crappy
producer right now,
purple.
he's laughing because he knows he's gotten some. He knows he's gotten
That's
some.
how it is, man.
Most importantly, probably don't listen to them, and it was probably a pretty lame topic. Question mark. I don't know.
Probably not lame, but it's just like we
Not
extended
lame,
it
but
too
A little
much.
bit more informative than.
Too controversial.
Then our past episode.
Yeah.
Yeah.
it
It's a
wasn't
bit
as,
more
like,
serious.
Oh, no, I mean,
A
I
little-
think that just comes because this is our first official day. In
Yeah, we
University.
gotta,
Yeah,
We're
we need to make it
we gotta-
official.
Yeah,
We gotta make
it
a.
official.
We need to
good
bring
first
awareness to
impre-
everything.
We gotta
impression.
touch up on every
I can't say
topic,
the
like
word.
just dip,
Well, I
dip
mean,
your
that's-
toes in it. a
We
little
got
bit.
plenty of episodes for that, but
Yeah,
you
we
know, I
really
think
do.
we were just a little bit
Nervous.
tense. Yeah. So
Yeah.
Make a good
we must.
impression.
Yeah,
Just put it away.
yeah.
Shout
of
out to
course.
J and Pro TV.
So everybody, just
And,
love each other, hold hands, whatever.
Stick around, yeah.
Whatever.
Y'all
Just
having a
don't
rough
hate.
time, man.
Just
You know,
don't hate,
Things
yeah.
go by.
Except that
everything
there's
goes
other
by.
people than you.
We really are trying to be open minded. Like if you said anything, like please let us know. I don't know. Like
Hit
if
us
you
up
think
on
we
Twitter, on
fact check us, I
Instagram.
don't know.
Yeah, for real.
For real.
Yo, y'all check
Maybe
us
let
out.
J and Pro TV know. Like,
Yeah.
maybe
Give
send
them a follow. Check their
mean
stuff out.
worded message. No, don't do that.
Don't do
But
that.
honestly though, go ahead, check us out. Stay in tune for the next episodes. We're definitely gonna be back in the studio recording more things for you guys to be hearing. This is just a whole new flavor for y'all's ears. Thank y'all for checking us out, and we'll catch y'all on the flip side.
Yeah,
Drink
and
water.
Stay
for
tuned,
real.
y'all.
And remember,
Water.
Stay
remember,
trippy.
just remember, you live one life. There's no reason to have any hate and negativity
I
in it.
stuttered.
For real.
I messed it up.
Probably
I stuttered
most
to tutter.
importantly,
Produced
shout
by
out
everybody.
to 100 point.
Yeah, shout out to 103.3 Asheville FM once again.
I messed that up. Whatever.
Did you stutter?
No, I didn't.
Thanks, y'all.
Follow
Yeah.
us on social media, y'all. We'll hit
Yeah,
y'all up
we'll be
on
back.
the
We on
information
Spotify,
thing on
Called
Spotify,
Higher
whatever.
Spirits.
Spotify and Anchor, Higher Spirits.
We out.
We are out. this
Bye.